station that's on your side. This is News 12, first at 5.
A gym owner accused of child molestation. What's happening to that gym now that one of its owners is behind bars?
But first, we begin with a developing story out of Atlanta. One person dead, at least 4 more are hurt after an active shooter in Midtown Atlanta.
3 of those victims right now are in critical condition. In just the last hour, police confirming all of the victims are women. That suspect still on the loose right now. Atlanta police have identified him. He is 24-year-old Dion Patterson. APD says the shooting happened at a medical building on West Peachtree Street around 1 this afternoon. That's sort of in between I-85 and Piedmont Park. Now, all of this was happening on the 11th floor of that medical building. Our sister station in Atlanta spoke to a couple on the 9th floor when shots rang out.
We just sheltered in place and followed directions. But we didn't really know what was going on until we saw the television, but we did hear some popping noise that we didn't know what the popping noise was, so originally we just ignored it and just kept waiting for my son was inside the procedure room.
Police believe that suspect, Dion Patterson, is armed and dangerous. We heard from the Shepherd Blood Center here in Augusta. They say they have spoken with Grady Hospital. That's where those victims are being treated. They say the hospital has all the blood they need to help those victims right now, but Shepherd is on standby in case that changes. Coming up in about 5 minutes or so, we will take you live to Atlanta and look at how police are also investigating a carjacking near that scene.
Well, gym owner faces molestation charges after being turned in by his wife. Authorities say 36-year-old Scott Page was arrested Monday for being inappropriately involved with a 15-year-old girl. Our Nick Gillen is live at 5. Nick, what's going to happen now to that gym now that one of the owners is behind bars?
Yeah, well, there's no confirmation on that, but we've been here all day and we've seen people go to and from the gym and they're packing up the equipment that's on the inside. And now here you can see the garage doors open with a truck getting loaded up, and 45 minutes later the doors closed, and at 4 o'clock 2 cars left, one with a trailer with weight racks disassembled. This all comes after one of the employees of the gym, Scott Page, has been arrested and charged with molesting a teenage girl. His wife told the police this relationship went back to January when she first found out about it, and his wife is not facing any charges at this time. And we'll have more on this story and what's next for the gym coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
This weekend in just about 10 minutes. Thanks, Riley. A big change that could make healthcare more affordable and accessible for South Carolinians should soon be on the governor's desk.
It would repeal what's known as the Certificate of Need process, something more than a dozen other states, including Georgia, already have. State House reporter Mary Green explains how it would work.
Right now, if someone wants to build or expand a hospital in South Carolina, or if an existing facility wants to purchase expensive medical equipment like an MRI machine, they have to get permission from the state through DHEC. Then other healthcare providers in that area can try to block those plans. This bill would get rid of most of that process.
I'm just glad we've gotten to a place where patients get a huge win today in the General Assembly, where we're expanding patient choice, expanding competition, expanding the marketplace for healthcare services so patients have more options at a lower cost.
If this bill becomes law, most provisions would immediately go into place and no longer require state approval. That includes building new ambulatory surgery centers and doctors' offices, repealing equipment caps for hospitals, and moving a hospital to a new facility in the same county as its current one without increasing the number of beds. It would also allow new hospitals to immediately be built in the 8 counties that currently don't have one without needing DHEC sign-off. This bill would temporarily keep in place the current approval requirement to build new hospitals in counties that already have them, but that would also be repealed in January of 2027.
But for a lot of our hospitals, it takes that long just to get permits, plans drawn up, so it's really not that long of an extended period of time when we think about the forecasting and the long-term planning that our hospitals do have to do. And this is also a model that other
states have done. The House of Representatives passed this bill Wednesday, and senators are poised to agree with the changes that House members made to it. So this bill should soon be on Governor McMaster's desk. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Nursing homes that want to build or expand also have to get state permission. Lawmakers say they plan to leave that current requirement in place because of federal regulations surrounding those facilities.
Breaking developments in the active shooter situation in Atlanta. We've just learned the suspected shooter's mother tells our sister station that she is cooperating with police to help find her son safely.
Now, that suspect is Dion Patterson. Patterson is accused of killing one person and injuring 4 others in a shooting at a Midtown Atlanta medical building. Savannah Louie is live in Midtown Atlanta. And Savannah, set the scene for us there now.
Well, just to give you a little context here, I live in Midtown. This is not the first mass shooting that I have covered in Midtown, but I have never seen this area as crowded and as chaotic as it was earlier today. I'll step aside here so you can still see that there are several law enforcement officers here still on the ground. Just a few, though, after more than half a dozen agencies, from the Atlanta Police Department to University Police Departments, all the way up to the Secret Service and the FBI, were on the scene today. Now, police say the shooting began in the waiting room of the Northside Hospital Medical Building, and they're asking for the public's help in finding the suspect as they're working to learn why this happened.
She was in the procedure room and I was in the waiting area, so when we heard the popping, it was really nothing until we saw everyone locking doors and scurrying through the doctor's office.
Medical office patients recalling chilling moments a mass shooting shut down the heart of Atlanta Wednesday.
There was a lot of nervousness, as you can imagine. The staff was scurrying everywhere, so I just wanted to make sure people stayed calm, because when things like this happen, a lot of times you can make it worse.
Atlanta police releasing these photos of the suspect, 24-year-old Dion Patterson, believed to have opened fire at a Northside Hospital medical building on West Peachtree Street Northwest in Midtown Atlanta, killing 1 person and injuring 4 others. Grady Hospital declaring a mass casualty event, treating the 4 surviving adult victims, 3 remaining in critical condition.
Within minutes, we had multiple trauma surgeons, multiple staff in the trauma bay itself. We cleared out any patients who were currently in the Marcus Trauma Center, and we were fully prepared.
As police closed off 10th to 15th Streets in this very busy area of the city, even buildings outside that radius went into lockdown, along with several Atlanta public schools. Even after police officially lifted that shelter-in-place order, more than 3 hours after shots initially rang out.
You know, we're just hours into this investigation, so investigators are behind us in the buildings, talking to witnesses, processing the scene as we speak. The clarity that I think that we would want to know as a city and as a society, we just don't have at this particular moment.
This is the 10th mass shooting in Georgia in 2023, according to the National Gun Violence Archive, and the 190th in the U.S. so far this year.
I think it's a wonderful city, and I'm not going to live in fear because I love this community. I'm just sad that this happened in Atlanta, and it's happening all over the world.
Now, Atlanta police believe that suspect carjacked a vehicle nearby shortly after that shooting and fled and abandoned that car later in Cobb County. Now, just for some context here, Cobb County is a very populated area with malls, with Truist Park. That's where the Braves play, and so residents who live up there are being told to be on alert and also to shelter in place as police again continue to search for the suspect. For now, reporting from Atlanta, Savannah Louie.
Thank you for that update there, Savannah. Certainly a sad situation, and we will continue to keep you guys updated at home as to what happens here in whenever they catch that suspect in downtown Atlanta.
We're not that far away from Atlanta. Who knows? He could be in our area. So share that picture on social media.
Absolutely. A community calling for justice after a family says a man was eaten alive by bed bugs. We'll have the latest on that story coming up. Riley.
And looking to stay dry over the next couple of days, but unfortunately for the weekend, we are keeping an eye on the chance for a few showers, maybe even a thunderstorm. Update for you just after the break. Storms rolling in by next Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Riley. A man found dead inside his Fulton County jail cell. covered in bed bugs. Now his family and civil rights attorney Ben Crump are calling for action. In a news conference today, Crump said it was not just 35-year-old LaShawn Thompson dealing with inhumane conditions at the jail.
There was a plan to take him out of there and move him, but it never happened. And they found him dead. So to answer your question, it was pure negligence. The entire psychiatric wing was infested with bed bugs and lice. He was the only one to die that we know of with the bed bugs.
The Fulton County Sheriff announced the resignations of 3 top jailers, and the Board of Commissioners approved more than $5 million towards addressing inmate safety and security. Thompson's family says the sheriff should resign. A Georgia woman is sharing her story and warning others after getting butt injections, and it sent her to the hospital.
First, Augusta.com.
One wrong step, and it could cost you your health. That's the allegation detailed in a College Park, Georgia police report.
A Georgia mother was hospitalized for days after getting butt injections. Sierra Cummings went to figure out why.
I was shaking. I was crying so terribly. The nurse was like, calm down. She's like, what have I done to myself?
The injuries are too graphic to show, but the images offer a blurry look at the price of pretty. October 2022, Shantia Cooley saw injections for the perfect bump. The 49-year-old did not want it bigger, just smoother.
Would this help me with the cellulite? Injecting it here?
After the procedure, not only was she still left with the cellulite, but the mom had issues much worse.
My mom, she recently had surgery on her butt, and it looks infected. I mean, she can't walk or anything.
Medical records detail Piedmont Henry doctors found sepsis in her bloodstream. Sepsis can lead to organ failure and death. Shantia recalls the doctor determined the cause, butt injections gone wrong.
They kept me. I stayed in hospital for a week, actually.
Texan Payment Plans confirmed she got the procedure done by Von Seal Daniel at Chaotic Von Beauty Bar. The College Park business advertises medical procedures from bum fillers to lipo. But according to state records, the business and its owner have no medical license.
So I guess that explains why I ended up in the hospital.
In Georgia, it is a felony crime to perform unlicensed medical work. Adding insult, board licensed plastic surgeon Dr. Nirav Patel explains
Peel pack label has an expiration date.
in order to even get these FDA-approved injectables, you have to be credentialed, meaning unlicensed workers often rely on black market or altered product. Shantia believes she was getting hyaluronic acid filler in her bum. Dr. Patel argues it's unlikely.
It's a combination of blood, possibly pus or like infected fluid. So that's not normal at all, the typical inflammation that one mounts when you have fake stuff injected.
Data from the National Institute of Health illustrates a 25% death rate and a 50% hospitalization rate for injection injuries by unlicensed providers. But the agency notes the number is likely significantly underreported. After Atlanta News First started asking questions, the Georgia Medical Composite Board opened an investigation. As a regulatory agency, it typically suspends or revokes licenses, but enforcement gets complicated when a facility does not have a medical license to begin with, like the case of Chaotic Von Beauty, where allegations remain twofold. The owner offers the medical services here locally, while also offering sessions across the country to train others. When we reached out to Von Seal Daniel about the allegations, the owner's only replied, "Can you provide the names of the consumers?"
Miss Vaughn?
After she stopped responding, we showed up to the business. It appeared empty inside. So we called.
We want to talk to Miss Von Seal because there's no record that she has a medical license, yet she's offering medical services.
The owner claimed she was an esthetician, that she was transferring her Florida license to Georgia. When we told her she needed an actual medical license to perform this work, she claimed she had nurses on staff. Atlanta News First found no documentation to substantiate any of it.
Okay. Well, she hung up.
As for Shantia, she cautions others to do what she did not.
Be aware and be careful and do your research a little bit more. Okay. She did.
So what are the big takeaways here?
injections, body enhancement, surgeries, all of that must be done by a medical professional. You can actually look up to see if a professional is licensed on the state medical board website. If they're not licensed, you can also file a complaint on that same website. After state investigations, the medical board typically gets the local district attorney and local law enforcement involved. We're going to keep you updated on this case.
All right, thank you for that, Sierra. We are looking at calmer winds over the next couple of afternoons. Wind gusts should stay well below 20 miles an hour Thursday and Friday. Now look at that forecast for you just after a quick break.
Hey guys, call 1-800-CALL-CAN. All the things I feel inside when I see my mother's eyes. Love is always in your smile. There is no home like a mom. So let me hold you in my heart.
Welcome back, folks, to a live view from our southbound smokehouse camera. Another sunny, breezy afternoon. High temps right now hitting the mid-70s and still pretty gusty out there, but winds will calm down as we head into tonight. With calmer winds overnight, that's going to allow our temperatures to bottom out to the low 40s by early tomorrow morning. So you will need that jacket for the first part of the day, but plenty of sunshine again tomorrow. Not tracking much rain until we get to the weekend. Stick with us. Much more on Live at 5.
Investigate TV is here.